안녕하세요, 김 선생님입니다. I wanna share one of the famous Korean poem, and then why this poem is so important, and a little bit of the background. Uh, Several years ago, I was invited by the South Korean government, Ministry of the Education, for a Korean language teacher in the USA professional development workshop. During the trip, I had the privilege to meet one of a past executive of a large Korean global company. Let's say I would say LG or Samsung, and he mentioned about this particular American candidate who is now one of the executive in this large Korean company. And during the interview, they asked, all the candidates, how much do you guys know about Korea since you want to work at the Korean company? And then one of this candidate really stands out, and then he basically stood up and recite this poem. 이 몸이 죽고 죽어 100번 고쳐주고 백골이 진토되어 넋이라도 있고 없고 임양한 일편단심이야 가실 줄이 있으랴. If you look at the English translation on the slide, you know what I'm saying. And then not only that, he ends with just like the Cheongmongzu was loyal to Goryeo dynasty, I'll be loyal to your company. And that really impressed every single people. And of course, he got hired, right? So this poem, why it's so important? For me, I had to learn this and then recite this poem in junior high school in South Korea when there was no, this is a mandatory poem that we have to recite. And I still remember and then I still recite. And short background of the story, the Goryeo dynasty is started around 900, start well, but late 1300, the dynasty had a lot of corruption. And one of the general, Lee Seong-ge in the Goryeo dynasty, he made a coup d'etat, and then as he tried to found a new kingdom, Joseon dynasty, he tried to persuade this person Cheongmongju, whom was very honorable person and a very wise man, to join the new kingdom. And he asked his son to persuade him. And then his son wrote a hayaga that I'm gonna cover maybe later in the session. And he wrote a poem, 이런 들 어떠하리, 저런 들 어떠하리. At the time, they wrote a poem to communicate each other. And then, so basically, how about this say? Why not that? Why we don't we go this way? What does it matter? That there's a 하여가, he wrote a poem. And then 정몽주 wrote a 단신가, 이 몸이 죽고 죽어 100번 고쳐주고 백골이 진토되어 넋이라도 있고 없고 임양한 일편단심이야 가실 줄이 있으라. So he wrote this poem back. And then after he wrote the poem back, he met Lee Bang-won, the General Lee's son, at the Seongjukgyo. Seongjukgyo is at the Kaesong area. This is southern part of the North Korea right now. After Lee Bang-won received the poem, and he used basically he slaughtered Cheongmongju at the Seongjukgyo, and his pee, the blood, spattered all over the place. And then, but he still remains as one of the loyal servant of the Goryeo, and then he kind of truly showed what the royalty means. So all my Korean 3 students, they learned this poem, and then every single one of them, they passed this poem. So they have to stand up. Korean 3 is about the intermediate level, and then stand up in front of 40 students, and they have to recite without any looking at it. If I believe, if you're able to recite this poem and then explain what it means to Korean people, they're gonna get impressed. Just like if somebody able to recite, Shakespeare's, a piece, they're gonna say, "Wow, that's impressive." I think it's kind of the same way. So, and then there is a video on the top right. It's from the Arirang TV. There's a documentary about Jeongmongju, and the bottom right is that's me, that I used to work in the Korean TV as a newscaster. Um, I hope that you get a good information from this video, and then I hope to show you some more lessons next time. Thank you.